Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com. The pretrial hearing for Fernando Acosta Jr., the man charged in the death of Amanda Johnson, is set to begin this week. We're following the case in Matagorda County. And on Capitol Hill, the race for Speaker is intensifying this morning after 9 candidates entered their bid for the position over the weekend. We'll tell you what's next in the race for the gavel. And turning now to the war between Israel and Hamas, a bipartisan group of U.S. senators were in Israel this weekend in a show of solidarity to the war-torn country. This story and more just a few minutes away.
And we're going to take a look at those rain chances for the rest of the day today and the rest of this week. Take a look at the weather coming right up.
Did the Astros win the pennant or did the Rangers force a Game 7? I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 23rd day of October 2023. The time is now 6:31 on our Monday morning.
Monday morning. Happy Monday, everybody. It's a new week.
And on this day in 1998, Baby One More Time was released by Britney Spears.
Oh boy, Britney Spears. Man, I've heard that name in a while.
That was such a big deal.
Oh yeah, Britney was a huge deal back then.
Yeah, I remember for the talent show we did a coordinated dance to one of Britney's songs on that album. Cool. It was pretty fun.
I was gonna say, I remember going to elementary school and stuff, and in the car on the way there, I'd hear it on the radio. She's always on the radio.
And now she has her new book out, so watch out.
Oh yeah, watch out.
So, Parker.
Well, are we going to watch out for those rain today? Yes, we're going to be watching for some rain. Let's take a look at the live radar right now. We've got a couple showers out there right now. A couple of them passing through, actually just passed through, and also just passed through Palacio, as you can see right there, just on the east side of that screen. But we're going to take a look at those rain chances for the rest of the day in a few moments, because take a look what's going on this week is because we got a good shot at seeing showers and thunderstorm for the entire week this week. Even going into the weekend, what's going to happen is this low is going to dive deep south into the southern Rockies, and that's going to eventually move northeast into the central Great Plains area by Wednesday and Thursday, and that's going to give us a good lifting mechanism out ahead of that. That's what's going to lift all the energy, buoyant energy ahead to create those showers and thunderstorms. Take a look at the shower chances for today. As you can see, a couple showers may be possible in the morning, but it's eventually going to taper off going into the noontime. But then afternoon and the afternoon hours, it's going to build back up as that heat settles back in, and that gives us plenty of energy to deal with for today. Look at the energy for the rest of the week, though. I talked about Monday here today, so I've got some good little bit of it down here in our neck of the woods. But tomorrow through Friday is the main time frame that we're looking at for showers. You can see, look at all that energy just flowing right into our neck of the woods by Friday. Well, we're going to take a look at those rain chances and more, and those windy conditions, because it's supposed to be a windy day today through Thursday, and we'll take a look at those conditions in just a few moments. But for now, back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The man charged in Amanda Johnson's death will go before a judge this week in a pretrial hearing. Johnson's killer, Fernando Acosta Jr., will stand for the hearing Wednesday at the Matagorda County Courthouse. Acosta turned himself in to authorities back in 2021 after he was connected to remains found in a burned SUV. Those remains were later identified as Amanda Johnson. The original date for Acosta's pretrial was set for June 8, 2023. It's unclear why the date was pushed back until now. Matagorda District Attorney Stephen Reese says Acosta faces tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, and murder charges. That leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you think Amanda Johnson's killer will go to trial or plead out? Okay, let's take a look. 18% of you say go to trial and 82% of you say plead out. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. The race for Speaker of the House continues, and there are now 9 candidates who have announced plans to run. House Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik announced in a post to X on Sunday that 9 candidates have joined the race for Speaker after Representative Jim Jordan lost another round of votes last week. Stefanik noted the deadline to announce a Speaker bid was Sunday at noon. The 9 candidates running include Jack Bergman, Byron Donalds, Tom Emmer, Kevin Hern, Mike Johnson, Dan Muser, Gary Palmer, Austin Scott, and Pete Sessions. The GOP candidate forum is set to be held at 6:30 p.m. Eastern today, and an internal conference vote will occur at 9 a.m. Tuesday. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators visited Israel this weekend to meet with Israeli leaders to show their support. Leading the delegation of 5 Republicans and 5 Democrats is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham and Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chair Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland. At a press conference in Tel Aviv Sunday morning, all expressing their disbelief at the atrocities committed by Hamas and saying that destroying Hamas is non-negotiable. A second convoy of aid trucks made its way to Gaza. At least 17 trucks entered the Egyptian side of the Rafah border crossing Sunday. That's from Egyptian secretary and humanitarian sources. This follows Israel's plan to widen its attacks to include targets in Syria and the occupied West Bank. The new round of aid comes a day after 20 trucks carrying the first supplies of food, water, and medicine entered the besieged enclave since the eruption of war between Israel and Hamas. Health leaders have warned that residents need a steady supply of relief to combat a spiraling crisis. Now to Tennessee and the search for a man accused of shooting 2 police officers. The suspect happens to be the son of Nashville's police chief.
This morning, 2 police officers in suburban Nashville, Gregory Kern and Ashley Bolijak, are recovering after being shot while responding to a call about a stolen vehicle. The suspect on the run has been identified by Nashville's police chief as his own estranged son, John Drake Jr., the 38-year-old described as armed and extremely dangerous.
Our officers were investigating a stolen vehicle. During that investigation, they had contact with a subject. They struggled with that subject, and during that struggle, the suspect produced a handgun and fired shots.
People in the suburb of Laverne have been told to shelter in place and stay alert. Nashville Police Chief John Drake Sr. releasing a statement saying, "I am shocked and deeply saddened to learn that my estranged son, with whom I have had very minimal contact over many years, is the suspect. Despite my efforts and guidance in the early and teenage years, my son resorted to years of criminal activity and is a convicted felon. He has not been a part of my life for quite some time. He now needs to be found and held accountable for his actions." This resident near the shooting scene is sympathetic.
He is a father, and I know he loves his child, so that just breaks my heart. I can't imagine what he's going through.
Nashville's mayor is standing by his police chief as investigators search for John Drake Jr., saying in a statement, "We can't be responsible for the choices of family members." Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38 on your Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The mother of a young boy killed in a hit and run will be closing the store she opened to honor his memory.
The war between Israel and Hamas continues to intensify. I'm Micah Jachi reporting in Washington. Coming up, why the Biden administration is asking Israel to delay its ground incursion.
And coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at that school bus forecast, that radar, and that energy report. We'll take a look at the weather coming right up. Well, good morning, Crossroads. Looking at a live look up of Victoria right there. It's actually the Detar North Hospital right there. It's actually quite nice out there. Maybe a little humid for some of us because it's 71 is the ambient temperature with that dew point of 70, bringing that humidity to a 96%. So it could be a little patchy fog out there. So please be careful if you're driving on the roads this morning. Well, if you're sending your kiddos off to school this morning, it's supposed to be about 72 as we're heading out the door with some isolated showers still lingering around in the area and patchy fog likely as well. Well, and if they're heading back in the afternoon, about 4 p.m., 86 is the afternoon high with still some isolated showers lingering in the area. As you can tell right here on the live radar, got a couple that just passed through Edna and heading up toward Hallettsville right now, and I also have one just passed through Palacios heading into Wharton County as well. But other than that, pretty clear throughout the rest of the area. Now expecting that to develop a little bit more in the afternoon. Take a look at the allergy report. We had some, if you're like me, I hate allergies, so we have some pretty moderate levels of pollen for all types of pollen today. Look at that 7-day. We're going to be quite windy from today through Thursday as that southerly flow really picks up going into the weekend. That's the weather. We'll have more in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Parker. 2 area powerhouses battle it out to take possession of first in district, and we're going to Game 7. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more.
Well, we had 2 area undefeateds battling for possession of first place. Down at Edna, it was the Goliad Tigers who were able to strike first late in the first quarter, but the Edna Cowboys were able to strike right back. Only 2 plays later, Jaden Clay hit Braylon Harris over the middle of the field, and when he gets going, you probably won't catch him, but the extra point was no good. Goliad never gave up the lead. They go on to win 21 4-2-6. And the moment many of us were waiting on yesterday, Game 6 of the ALCS down in Houston, it was the Astros who got on the board first, courtesy of Yordan Alvarez, that scores none other than Jose Altuve to make it 1-0. But on the first pitch of the second inning, Mitch Garver sends one to right. That's going to make it a 1-1 game. And then in the fourth, Jonah Heim sends one to right as well. Over the wall, Tucker's leap comes up just short over his outstretched glove. The Rangers absolutely pummeled the Astros 9-2. So there will be a Game 7. We'll be in Houston at 7 p.m. Likely Christian Javier and Max Scherzer. And that's advantage Houston pitching-wise. Problem is they're absolutely awful at home. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
All right, thank you, Zach. We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Now to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. The Biden administration asking Israel to delay their expected ground incursion into Gaza in order to allow more time for the release of hostages and to get critical aid into the region. All this as Israel steps up its airstrikes in the region.
This morning, Israeli Defense Forces stepping up its attacks on terrorist targets, striking a refugee camp in Gaza, killing 40 Palestinians, including women and children, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. Elsewhere, Israeli fighter jets striking a mosque in the West Bank, which Israel says thwarted an imminent terror attack. At least 2 people were killed. This drone video showing buildings pulverized. A Palestinian journalist says he scooped up these 2 wounded toddlers, rushing them to a hospital. ABC's Matt Gutman reports what happens next in Gaza will unfold in 3 stages.
The first will comprise the most intense fighting. That's the invasion of the Gaza Strip. The second stage is cleanup operations, finding remaining Hamas cells and weaponry, destroying them. The third stage is rehabilitation, restoring essential services in Gaza, perhaps a government.
The Biden administration urging Israel to delay a ground invasion in Gaza in order to allow time for the release of more hostages. Israel says Hamas is holding at least 212 hostages, including some Americans.
I'm scared because what does that mean? I don't know where is my daughter. Nobody knows.
On Friday, Hamas releasing a mother and daughter from the Chicago area, Judith and Natalie Ranan, in a deal brokered by Qatar. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis inside Gaza is growing. People are running out of food, water, medicine, and fuel. 15 aid trucks arriving in Gaza over the weekend, slowly trickling in. Still, hundreds of additional trucks packed with critical aid waiting at Egypt's Rafah border. There are fears the conflict could widen, the U.S. now moving a second carrier strike group and missile defense system into the region. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
The mother of a young boy killed in a hit and run will be closing a store she opened to honor his memory. Kevin's Closet is a resale shop that Kevin's mother, Darlene, opened for those in need of clothing in the community. As a way to remember her son, in a Facebook post, she announced that she will be closing up the shop soon. There's no official date yet for when the doors will close. On Sunday, November 19th, they will have a vendors event at their location at 1708 East Airline. Kevin Garza was killed in a hit and run in Bloomington 7 years ago. The person who hit him has still not been found. The time is now 6:45 on your Monday morning. Still to come, Taylor Swift topped the weekend box office again. Okay, time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy 6th birthday, Ezekiel. We love you and hope you have the best day ever.
And a very happy birthday to a very busy man, actor, entrepreneur, and soccer team owner Ryan Reynolds. He's turning 47 today. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More, and under Home, you see KAVU to submit your birthday.
All right, the time is now 6:46 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
Absolutely. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. Well, if you're waking up with us, that's a live look of Port Lavaca right there. We do have a weather poll of today, but we will talk about that in a little bit because we're going to talk about those current conditions in Port Lavaca right now. So you can take a look, like I said, that sun is starting to come up. You can see that's slowly starting to come up above that ocean horizon, but it's a little warm, maybe even a little nice for some of us down in Port Lavaca. 75 right now with a dew point of 72. They'll bring that humidity to a high at 92%. So it could be a little bit of patchy fog out there this morning. So please be careful if you're driving on the road. Well, if you're sending your kiddos off to school this morning, but it's supposed to be about 72 this morning with some isolated showers still lingering around in the area and some patchy fog early in the morning. But as they're heading back home in the afternoon, about 3-4 p.m., 86 is that afternoon high with still some showers in the area. We'll take a look at that shower timing for the rest of the day today. Take a look in the morning hours, maybe a couple weak showers in the area, and then tapering off by noontime. And then in the afternoon, once it starts heating up, that sun comes out. Maybe a couple more widespread stronger showers are expected in the area this afternoon. Take a look. That 7 day is going to be windy today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday as that southerly flow really intensifies over the next few days with that high pressure in the Gulf. And it's like I'm talking maybe even gusts up to 30 over the next few days with those shower thunderstorm chances still lingering around over the next few days ahead of the next frontal system. That's it for weather. We'll have more in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. She may be a mastermind. Taylor Swift topped the weekend box office again. The Eras Tour, the movie, raked in more than $31 million in its second weekend in theaters. It beat out Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, which took an estimated $23 million. Total ticket sales for the Eras Tour movie has topped $120 million. For scale, the singer self-produced it for a cost of only $15 million. I know I've already been to one screening and I'm already planning my second. And today is National iPod Day. On this day in 2001, the original iPod was unveiled by Steve Jobs of Apple. It changed the way we listen to music and paved the way for the company's next major innovation, the iPhone. The first iPods that went on sale came with a price tag of $399. Apple discontinued the standalone iPod last year after selling more than 450 million of them. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. The latest in a suspected hate crime in Illinois. Early voting in the state's constitutional amendment election starts today. Proposition 1 would add farming and ranching practices to the Texas Bill of Rights. The proposition asks voters to add the right to engage in farming, ranching, timber production, and wildlife management to Article 1 of the Texas Constitution. Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. And out of the latest on that suspected hate crime in Illinois, the mother who survived an anti-Muslim attack that also killed her 6-year-old son is out of the hospital. It's unclear when doctors discharged Hanan Shahin. She lived with her son Uday for years in a rented house in Plainfield Township, a suburb of Chicago. But 8 days ago, the family's landlord attacked them. The sheriff's office says the ongoing conflict between Hamas and Israel prompted the attack. 71-year-old Joseph Scuba is facing numerous charges, including first-degree murder. He's currently being held without bail and is due back in court later this month. Police are investigating after a man drove his vehicle through a crowd rallying in support of Palestinians in Minneapolis on Sunday. The Minneapolis Police Department received several reports of disturbances surrounding a demonstration near the intersection of Hennepin Avenue and Lindale Avenue around 3:30 p.m. Witnesses reported a vehicle driving through the crowd. A crowd of protesters surrounding the man began kicking the vehicle before he drove off toward the group of protesters again. He was stopped by protesters for a second time. He appeared to lunge at them with a knife or a box cutter. So far, no arrests are made. Police are conducting follow-up investigations. Chinese Coast Guard and a Philippines vessel collided in the South China Sea. This as a long-standing dispute grows between the two countries over a disputed shoal. The Philippines refers to it as the Ayungin Shoal, and Beijing refers to it as the Renai Reef. The FAA is investigating an incident last week involving an Alaska Airlines flight. It happened during bad weather in Portland, Oregon last Monday. Investigators say pilots of an Alaska Airlines plane initiated a go-around due to high winds That plane then appeared to turn toward another plane that was taking off. Air traffic controllers issued urgent instructions to the crew to turn away from the other plane. The FAA says it will determine the closest proximity between the aircraft as part of its investigation. Both planes continued their flight safely to their destinations. The Port Lavaca Food Pantry needs your help. All year round, you can drop off items at their pantry at 331 Alcoa Drive in Port Lavaca from 9 a.m. to noon, and they also have an after-hours drop-off box in the back for non-perishable items. The current needs are canned vegetables, canned fruit, ramen noodles, bars of soap, saltine crackers, canned chicken, and canned rice. Just rice, not canned rice. Hundreds took to the streets in Mexico City on Sunday for the Dia de los Muertos parade. Many of them painted their faces and got dressed up as the iconic Mexican skeleton, La Catrina. The parade is one of the city's many events for Day of the Dead, a tradition in which families remember their dead and celebrate the continuity of life. La Catrina was created by Jose Guadalupe Posada, a Mexican cartoonist, illustrator, and artist whose work influenced many Latin American artists and cartoonists. Can't wait to see our local celebrations here in Victoria. An extreme heat this year may have cost the Texas economy $24 billion. That's according to economists. Their analysis found the state's economy was twice as impacted by the heat than the rest of the country. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And we have time for a final check of our forecast with Parker.
Thanks, Carolina. And good morning if you're waking up with us, because we're going to have some really windy days over the next few days and some showery thunderstorm days. What's going to happen is we just had a hurricane make landfall in western Mexico yesterday, and that's actually lining up with this high just over the Dixie Valley. That's giving us that strong influx of strong southerly winds, giving us that good energy in the area ahead for some showers and thunderstorms this week. As we take a look at the showers for today, not much going on until maybe in the late morning, but then picking up in the late afternoon to becoming maybe a little more widespread. Well, let's talk about all that energy in place. Look at all the energy that's being thrown right into the state out of the Gulf with that southerly wind as the high lines up with that low, and that's going to give us those good showers, chances, and thunderstorms for the rest of this week. Look at that, 30 to 50% throughout the rest of the week, and windy for the next few days. That's it for the weather today. You have a marvelous rest of your Monday.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join James, Don, Matt, Karina, and Gina today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.